March 19th, 365 days of self-therapy. It's late. And I'm going straight to bed after this, but there was a reoccurring theme today that I wanted to share. And actually there were two. One, you can't give what you don't have. And two, you have to learn how to say no. Plenty of times we give of ourselves, we say yes, we say okay, we say sure, we give, they ask, we give, they want, we give, they gesture, we give. But inside we know that we don't have it. Why do we persist to give even when we don't have it? I know why. Because we're expecting the same thing in return. The same people with their hands out, wanting and wanting. That's how we feel in the inside. And so our way of filling that void of want and desire, to fill that emptiness, is by giving. It's easier to give to someone than it is to give to yourself. But the first way back to giving to ourselves is by starting to say no. Yeah, those two letters, N-O, no. We have to learn how to say no. And it doesn't have to be so harsh. It can be like, no. But we have to learn how to say no. I had my first huge lesson in saying no about a year ago. I think it's a year ago. A person who I was in love with, I didn't know how to say no to him. But at the same time, I knew every time I gave of myself, I felt empty, especially sexually. But I would give and give and give. I would give in every way, just so he won't be upset, or so that he won't reject me, or so that, he won't have an attitude with me, or whatever negative energy of rejection that I feared. I would just give, even though I did not have it in me to give. I would still give. But the one day I said no through action was a turning point in my life. It took every bone, every cell in my body, in my mind, to be able to say no that day. But finally, I decided that the feeling of emptiness was not worth me giving of myself at that moment. And thereafter, a strength, a power overcame me. Automatically, it's like my standards of my own self-worth rose after that day. So, I'm saying to you, my friends, learn how to say no first so that you can begin to give back to yourself, because you're the person who really needs it right now, especially if you're a giver. You're giving because of an emptiness. And it's time to start doing the real work. And the real work happens when you start giving back to you and you learn how to say no and know that you're worth saying no to whoever is beckoning and asking and wanting at that moment. Know that it doesn't matter what anger or how upset they may feel, or whatever kind of negative shade you're afraid of or rejection you're afraid of getting from them. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you are not left empty. You have to put yourself first, because you can't take care of somebody else unless you take care of yourself. So yeah, learn how to say no. And you can't give what you don't have. So stop giving until you actually can give from a place of true giving. True giving doesn't have strings attached. It doesn't have expectations. That's when you'll know when you're really giving. When you don't expect anything in return. So for now, practice saying no and give back to yourself. Good night.